I was sitting in a Starbucks in Faro, Portugal, staring at my laptop screen. The cursor blinked in the message box on LinkedIn. I'd typed the same sentence 4 different ways and deleted it each time. How do you ask someone you haven't spoken to in 3 years if they can lend you money? How do you explain that you're 64 years old, stuck in a foreign country, and you can't afford to leave? I finally typed it, kept it short, kept it vague, hit send before I could delete it again. Then I closed the laptop because I couldn't watch the read receipt appear. That was 18 months ago. 18 months since I'd bought an apartment in Portugal for $380,000, convinced I was making the smartest financial decision of my retirement. 18 months since everything I thought I understood about investing, about planning, about being careful, turned out to mean nothing. My name's Richard. I'm 66 now. 2 years ago, I was a recently retired IT director from Edison, New Jersey. 32 years in network infrastructure and systems architecture. By 62, I had $450,000 in retirement accounts, another $100,000 in cash, house paid off, daughter through college. I was comfortable and tired. So at 64, I took the retirement package, full benefits at 65. It was time. The plan was simple: sell the house. Too big, too empty, after my ex-wife left 6 years earlier. Got $520,000 for it. After closing costs, $480,000. Combined with retirement savings, just over $900,000. At 64, I thought I was set, but I didn't want to stay in New Jersey. The winters were brutal. Property taxes would drain my savings, and staying in the same town where I'd lived my entire adult life, now divorced and retired, felt depressing. I started researching. That's what I do. I research. I analyze. I make spreadsheets. I don't make emotional decisions. Portugal kept coming up. Stable, safe, part of the EU, English-speaking areas, great weather, and most importantly, the Golden Visa program. The Golden Visa was simple: invest a certain amount in Portuguese real estate, get a residence permit, after 5 years, permanent residency, after 6, citizenship, government-backed, legal, official. The minimum was €280,000, about $320,000. But properties in the Algarve were climbing in value. British, German, French buyers everywhere. If I bought right, I could live off rental income while the property appreciated, then sell for profit in 5 or 10 years. It made perfect sense. I flew to Faro in March 2021. An agency specialized in Golden Visa investments set me up with Sophia, an English-speaking agent. Over 3 days, we looked at 7 apartments and 2 villas, all beautiful, all affordable compared to the US. Sophia explained everything at each property: the paperwork, the timeline, the legal structure, everything transparent and documented. The apartment I chose was in Albufeira, 2 bedrooms, 110 square meters, 8th floor with ocean view, modern building, 4 years old, pool and gym. British couple selling, relocating back to the UK. Asking price €395,000. I offered 335. We settled at 350. With fees, taxes, legal costs, total came to $380,000. More than the Golden Visa minimum, but Sophia said buying above minimum made the process smoother. She connected me with a lawyer. I paid him €3,000. He handled everything: title search, purchase contract, registration, got me a Portuguese tax ID, opened a bank account, structured the purchase for Golden Visa compliance. Everything was legal and documented. I wired the money in 2 transfers. The lawyer confirmed receipt and prepared the deed. We signed at a notary in May 2021. The British couple signed. I signed. The notary stamped it. Official. I owned an apartment in Portugal. I had the deed, the keys, Portuguese tax ID, Portuguese bank account. Sophia assured me the golden visa would be straightforward. Her agency's immigration lawyer would handle it for €2,000. I paid. The first warning came 3 weeks later. I'd flown back to New Jersey to finalize my house sale and pack. Rented a small Lisbon apartment month to month to stay in Portugal during the visa application. Sophia had recommended it to show intent to reside. But when I emailed asking about next steps, Sophia stopped responding. I called. Voicemail. The agency said she'd left. No forwarding information. They only handled sales, not property management. I found a property management company in Albufeira, 20% commission. They listed it in June 2021. Summer season. High demand. Nothing happened. A few inquiries. No bookings. July came. Peak season. I got 2 bookings. 4 nights and 6 nights. After fees and expenses, I'd lost money. August was slightly better. September dropped. October, 1 booking. November, nothing. Tourist season over. I was paying €320 monthly in condo fees, plus €1,800 annual property tax. Then special assessments hit. Elevator maintenance, pool upgrade. My share, €2,100. By December 2021, 7 months of ownership, total rental income after expenses was negative €4,200. I'd lost money, but I told myself next summer would be better. That's when the immigration lawyer called. Problem with my golden visa. The property didn't meet current requirements. I didn't understand. Sophia had assured me everything was compliant. The lawyer explained. Rules changed January 2022. Properties in high-density tourist areas, like Albufeira, no longer qualified. The government was redirecting investment toward interior regions. My application was submitted November 2021, but still pending when new rules took effect. Denied. $380,000 invested specifically for a golden visa. I didn't qualify. I looked into the D7 retirement visa instead. Required proof of stable income. I qualified. It was approved after 4 months. Not the golden visa I wanted, but at least I could stay legally. Living in Albufeira full-time was different. Tourist crowds in summer, ghost town in winter. I didn't speak Portuguese well enough to integrate. Most interactions with other expats. Everyone running from something. Lonely. I started thinking about selling. Late 2022, the market had recovered slightly. Valuations came back between €325,000 and €340,000. After commissions, maybe $350,000. A $30,000 loss on the property, plus another $40,000 in fees and expenses. Total loss, $70,000. I listed it in January 2023 at €340,000. 4 months, no offers. Dropped to 325. Nothing. Interest rates had killed the market. Dropped to 315. Still nothing. By August 2023, I was desperate. Savings below 700,000. Burning money for 2 years. The apartment was an anchor. Couldn't sell it, couldn't afford to keep it. Dropped the price to €295,000. Finally got an offer in October. 270,000. 80,000 less than I'd paid. I accepted. Sale closed in January 2024. Received €258,000 after commissions. About $290,000. 90,000 lost on the sale alone. Total loss with all expenses, 120,000. I was 66, started with 900,000, now 760,000, mostly in US retirement accounts. I couldn't afford to stay, but I had nowhere to go. Sold my house. Daughter in a 1-bedroom. Ex-wife wanted nothing to do with me. Brother in Ohio, We didn't speak. Rental prices in New Jersey, 1,800 to 2,000 monthly, plus utilities, car, insurance, 45 to 50,000 yearly. Savings gone in 15 years. I'd be 81 and broke. Panic hit around March 2024. Real panic. Waking at 3 a.m. I'm heart racing, doing the math over and over. 760,000, 50,000 a year, 15 years, then nothing. Too old to work, too old to start over. Social Security, maybe 2,000 monthly, not enough. I started reaching out. Old colleagues, former team members, reconnected, mentioned I was abroad, mentioned things hadn't gone as planned. Some responded, most didn't. Responses were polite, but distant. I was sitting in that Starbucks in Faro when I sent the message. To Dave, a guy I'd worked with for 12 years. Friendly, not friends. I told him I was in a difficult situation, investment gone bad, needed a short-term loan to get back to the US, $5,000. Pay him back in 6 months. He read it. 3 days later, a short reply. Sorry about your situation. Not in a position to help. Wished me luck. I sent similar messages to 4 others over 2 weeks. 2 didn't respond. 1 polite no. 1 long message about his own financial problems after divorce. I sat looking at my balance, 612 euros. US retirement account had 753,000. But couldn't access without penalties until 67. I was 66, 1 year away. Social Security wouldn't start until 67 either. 12 months to survive on 600 euros. I called my daughter. We hadn't spoken in 4 months. I told her I needed help, needed to come back but couldn't afford the flight and deposit. She was quiet, then said she'd wire $2,000. That was all she could do. She wasn't angry, just disappointed. Disappointed I'd made such a stupid decision. Disappointed I hadn't asked for advice first. The 2,000 got me a ticket to Newark and a security deposit on a studio in Paterson, 1,300 a month, cheapest I could find. The neighborhood wasn't safe. I didn't care. I've been here 6 months now. The apartment smells like mold. Neighbors are loud. I don't go out at night. I eat cheap. Rice, pasta, canned soup. I spend my time online, reading about what I should have done differently. I could blame Sophia, the lawyer, Portuguese bureaucracy, bad timing, the market. But it was me. I made the decision. I wired the money. I trusted a system I didn't fully understand because I wanted to believe I was being smart and careful. 8 months from now, I'll turn 67. Social Security starts. Retirement account access. Income again. Not much, but enough to move somewhere better. I'll survive. But smaller than I planned. Smaller than 32 years built. People don't talk about this. The part where you're 66, alone, in a moldy studio, trying to make it to 67. They talk about the dream. Golden visors. European retirement, stretching dollars abroad, not what happens when the dream collapses. I spent $380,000 on an apartment I couldn't rent, couldn't sell without a massive loss, and that didn't qualify for the visa I bought it for. I lost $120,000 in real terms. But the real cost was the 2.5 years I spent trying to make it work, instead of admitting the mistake early and cutting my losses. If you're thinking about a golden visa or any international real estate investment, know this. Rules change, markets shift, people disappear, and when something goes wrong abroad, your options are limited. Different legal system, different language, different culture. The cost of being wrong is much higher. I thought I was careful. I researched, hired professionals, followed the legal process, and I still lost everything I'd planned on. Not from a scam, just from not understanding what I was getting into. By the time I did, it was too late. That's the part nobody tells you.